this video, I just want to go over through the demand and the fixed mode in terms of pacing, and I want to show you what happens, right, if we have only the pads connector attached, right, to the patient. So we see I placed this in a third-degree hard block. So we see the rhythm is displayed on this monitor. It shows you a third-degree hard block. I'm going to move this to the pacer mode, and what you notice, this is the CS1201. I have no limb leads connected, so my limb leads are disconnected, right, from the patient or from this monitor. So we're going to see, can we actually initiate pacing utilizing only our defibrillator pads with this monitor. So let me see, right? So it says connect ECG cable, attach leads, right? But we are in demand mode. This is the mode that we are in default setting when we turn this on. So this is what I'm going to do, right? So pacer mode, we're in demand, and look what happens, right? I want to start pacing, and it tells me, right, I cannot because I have to connect my ECG cable, attach leads, right? So let's see what happens once I actually connect them, right? So connecting my leads. Once the leads are connected on the monitor, you notice, right, that message is no longer displayed. It's flagging my R waves. And here I'm in demand mode. Pacer rate was 70. Check. I can initiate pacing. So you'll see, right, the pacer spikes start to appear. I'm going to increase my milliamps rather rapidly until I see electrical capture, right? So electrical capture is achieved, right? So, but the moment I disconnect, right, even one lead, we'll see what happens. So everything is connected. We'll see that it's running, right? Both the pads are attached and my limb leads are attached. The moment one limb lead is disconnected, right, what happens? Pacing stop, right? Audible alarm is sound, right? And the pacing has stopped. So this is what happens in the demand mode. So now let's see what happens. Let me disconnect all these limb leads. I only have connected, right, my pads. I'm going to switch to the displayed waves to be the pads. So let me turn this off. From the pacer, we're going to go to the pads. So pads are displayed. This is only what I have connected. Third-degree hard block again, right? And we're going to go to the pacer mode, right? It says connect ECG leads. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say pacer mode. I'm going to say fixed, right? And you see how it's showing me lead 2 and there's no EKG. I can, however, say displayed waves, lead 1. We're going to go back to pads. Make this ×1, right? So pads are displayed. We see a third-degree hard block. Now we're in the fixed mode, right? Pacer rate is 70 and pacer output is 75 milliamps. I'm going to start pacing. And it doesn't quite look like it's capture, right? Doesn't quite look like it's capture, but it's in fact pacing, right? Because the pace peaker spikes appear. Let me just show you what happens if I decrease my output to, let's say, 45, right? It looks like there's loss of capture, right? Pacer output goes back to 70, right? You have a change in the waves, but honestly speaking, you don't really know, what the heart rate is doing, because if it's delivering the energy through the same pads and it's reading EKG through the same pads, it's hard for it to interpret. But in the fixed mode, we could at least pace the person. So what is the fixed mode for, you'll say? So a couple of reasons you could use the fixed mode. One of the reasons they use this is terminate tachyarrhythmias. So put a rate higher than the patient's inherent heart rate and then bring it down. That's one reason. Another reason, if you have interference, meaning like helicopter EMS, you cannot really see a clear-cut ECG pattern, even if you cycle right through all the leads, right, with this button, and you cannot see anything. The other reason, right, you have no limb leads, right? You forgot your limb leads. You didn't inventory your vehicle, right? 800 your vehicle, so you only have the pads. Or your R wave is not very prominent. I cycle through all my leads, and my R waves, right? Let me show you what I mean by that, right? So instead of having this prominent R wave, like this one here, right? What you see is this. This is your R wave, and it always has almost similar amplitude as your P and T wave. So when the monitor is reading this rhythm, it doesn't know what is the T wave, what is the R wave, right? What is the P wave? So it cannot really sense. You cycle through all the leads with that button I showed you, and still unable to find the appropriate R wave trigger. Not like this, right? Right. So what it's going to do is it may tell you cannot paste, but in the fixed mode, I could still paste the rhythm. So this is some of the reasons where you could employ a fixed mode as opposed to demand mode. I would say demand mode is the most safest, and that's what you want to employ most of the times.